My name's Jodie. I'm 19 years old and I'm a professional rugby player for England Rugby Sevens. Um, and that's normally based in London, but at the minute I'm back at my family home in West Yorkshire. So I was born profoundly deaf, so that for anyone who doesn't know, that's literally no hearing whatsoever. But I got a cochlear implant fitted when I was 14 months old. And from there, I just went on a learning curve of learning how to listen, learning how to talk, just basic speech therapy. And then from there, I soon realised I was very much into my sports. I think I struggled quite a little bit in school with my hearing and deafness. So I think that's why I turned to sport. And then from there, I just literally got stuck in everything. I've done karate, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, judo, athletics. But when I was 14, I discovered rugby, and the last 4 years have been a roller coaster, and now I'm lucky enough to call it my job. At the start, I always wanted to try rugby, but my dad put me off purely because of my hearing. He was really concerned about the potential risks to the implant or the cochlear, all that situation. He was just worried about what risk could come from it. But I kept pushing him, saying, "Dad, can I just try it, please?" And from there, he sort of contacted a load of specialists, looked at what protection I could wear, and then he came across rugby scrum caps, which is just like a head guard, and it seemed pretty safe. And he got me a scrum cap, and he said, "We'll go down to a local club, have a session, and hopefully I'll just get it out of my system and just forget about it." But actually, it did the opposite. I went down, absolutely loved it, and got invited to a game the next weekend as sub. I came off the bench and I had no idea what I was doing, and they just chucked me the ball, and I sprinted for my life and ended up scoring a try and absolutely loved it. Um, and then from there, I've been playing for 4 years now. It was like a roller coaster. Represented my county, Yorkshire, under 15s, under 18s, England under 18s. And then last summer, so when I was 18, I got offered a professional contract with England Women's Sevens. So that was an absolute crazy year, just traveling across the world on the HSB World Series, and then getting selected for the extended GB squad for next year. And now I'm focusing on the Olympics, which has been like an ultimate dream for me since being young. Obviously, a team sport is massive on communication, and especially in rugby, you need to communicate different calls or where players are, or little things like that, and constantly talking to your players of what you're going to do next. But obviously, I struggle hearing my teammates when I'm on the pitch, especially when we, 100 meters away from each other. It's a lot harder, and wind, rain, and shouting, and everyone shouting. It was just so difficult. So we came across different sort of little hand signals, just so, because I rely heavily on looking up and where the space is and looking at body language of my teammates, knowing what's going to happen. But when I went into the professional environment with England Sevens last year, they've never experienced a deaf individual in their sort of elite environment. And I had a chat with them and just explained everything about what I struggle with, what my hearing's like. And they took it to another level to try and help me. They got a drone above us training, they mic'd me up, and there was filming, a different camera filming just me on the pitch, and then the drone filming all of us training and miking up myself to the camera to match what I was hearing compared to my teammates. And just, it was amazing what they wanted to do to help a deaf individual like that. But they were just wanting an elite team, and they realised that they needed to help every player on the pitch to be able to be, the ultimate team. I was inspired to go into deaf schools across the country to talk a bit about my story, and just with the big key message to try and inspire young kids to, you know, just go for the dreams with whatever challenges you have. You shouldn't sort of see it as a barrier, just see it as like motivation to push you towards that dream. But I'm actually a very shy person, so in the beginning the thought of going into a school absolutely terrified me, but I just wanted to give it a go, push myself out my comfort zone. And after the first school, sort of the positive feedback I got from parents and the teachers and kids, it really sort of took me by surprise. So I continued, and I think I've been in about 9 schools in the last year now. And even just to hear stories that a young deaf girl has started rugby because of my talk, just things like that really sort of baffle me, and it makes me so happy. And I think that's what I try and push off the pitch. What I'm working on now is my own sort of brand called Not Just Anyone, and it's really promoting just about being yourself and going for your dreams, and anyone with disabilities shouldn't, you know, hold back. You should just do it anyway and just do what you're passionate about. So those are the sort of little things I'm working on at the minute. I think the you automatically think, if you're developing hearing loss, you automatically think, oh no, it's going to really hold me back. You know, there's going to be loads of complications in place. People won't understand all these worries you have. I think the biggest thing I've learned is just being as honest as you can, because there are people out there who generally want to help. It's just a case of communicating with them and what you struggle with and what you don't struggle with and how they can help, and it all just fall into place. And just be yourself, talk to people, and honestly you get more benefits than you think. So just, you know, go with it. In simple words, just go for it. Just, you know, give it a shot. Don't be afraid thinking, you know, your hearing's going to hold you back or anything like that, because it's you can't there's obviously struggles, but it shouldn't never hold you back from wanting to achieve your dreams. I think you should just give it a shot anyway, and there's solutions around your hearing and how you can make it easier for you, but there's never a reason not to give it a shot. Just, you know, go for it and don't be afraid, just do it.